Hey guys, in today's video I'm gonna show you my favorite shortcuts in Photoshop. First off, we have V, which controls the arrow tool, which you basically use to just move stuff around on your canvas, your selected layer. And then we have S for clone stamp, which you use a lot, or I use a lot in my retouching. You just take a sample and then you basically copy whatever you want. Very useful because you can use it on an empty layer, which is very, very nice. And then we have J, which controls healing brush and the different types of healing brush, which is also very, very nice. It sort of blends material and structure and color and stuff like that, so that's good. Then we have M, select tool, and if you hold down Shift and press M, you get the circular selection tool. If you press Shift M again, you get the rectangular selection tool. P, pen tool. I use this a lot when I do free cuts, so comes in handy. If you haven't used the pen tool before, it's kind of, I mean, you have to learn it, but once you learn it, it's very, very useful. If you press D on your keyboard, it sets the foreground color and the background color to black and white, which comes in handy if you want to use the brush tool and paint in masks and so on. Then you want to have solid black or solid white. Cmd+Shift+I inverts your selection. So if you have a selection that looks like this and you want to invert it, you just press Cmd+Shift+I. And if you have a selection that you want to deselect, press Cmd+D. Cmd+T is free transform, which I use quite a lot. This is a bad example, but it activates free transform, and you can also choose warp or whatever. And then you press enter to finalize the free transform. Cmd+G makes a group of all the layers that you have selected. So you hold down your shift key, select your layers, and then press Cmd+G. And then you can name the group to whatever you like. And one of the shortcuts that I use a lot is Cmd+Option+Z, which is regret or edit step backwards, whatever you want to call it. So let's say that I create a new layer here. I paint a little bit, I make a selection, I deselect it. And then I hold my Command and Option key, press Z. I step backwards, which is very useful. Cmd+J, duplicate layer, very useful as well. This is a tricky one. Cmd+Option+Shift+E merges all visible layers into a new layer. I usually name this layer to merged. And then I keep on doing what I want to do. Cmd+W closes your document. And now for my custom setup shortcuts. So let's say I have this image here and I made my selection. This is the crop that I want to make. So instead of going here in the image menu and choose crop, I have created an action for this and set it to F2. So this is something I use a lot. And on F3, I have flatten image and convert to sRGB. So those two actions are something that I use a lot. Crop image, flatten and convert to sRGB. Then I know my image is ready for web publishing. And now for my final shortcut, and probably the shortcut that I use the most, is changing the size of the brush. This works for healing brush, for clone stamp, for whatever brush you need. So this key I've set to increase brush size, And if I hold the Shift key and press this one or hold it, I decrease the brush size. And you can set custom shortcuts by going into Edit, Keyboard Shortcuts. And here you choose Tools. So if you scroll down, we have Increase Brush Size right here and Decrease Brush Size. So you can see I have that one and I have this one. Those are set to another shortcut by default. But if you change those, you can accept the changes and then press OK. So this is very useful. Let me show you. If I want to paint in this mask, so I want to hide this effect right here. I can do it like this. If I press X, I change background and foreground color. I want to have this effect over here. No, I want a bigger brush, a bigger area. No, I want to change it to a smaller brush. Just make this effect visible right here, or maybe down here. Gotta have a bigger brush. I want a smaller brush over here, just to cover this little area here. Then a bigger brush again for covering this area. And a smaller brush again to keep on doing this area. Right here. So you see, you can change the size of the brush really, really quickly. I think this is the shortcut that I use the most. Basically, I always have my fingers right here, changing the brush all the time depending on the area that I'm working on. So this is very useful and time-saving. Yes, those are some of the shortcuts that I use the most when I do my retouching in Photoshop. I probably use a lot of other shortcuts as well, but those are the ones that I could think of right now. If you like this video, please like and subscribe so I can get my YouTube stats up, and I will try to make more videos in English. And now for the super corny YouTuber ending. Peace.